Oh, oh crap! I forgot to put my camera on. I was like, "Are you?" I was asking. I was asking if you were ready to go. I was asking if you were ready to go, and I'm sitting over here with my camera still not in the right position or whatnot. So let me fix that real quick. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lowdown. Except we do not have Loke here with us. No
No.
problems at all. No problems. Not a problem at all. In fact,
Huh.
he is going through a really awesome thing right now with his personal life. And until he decides to reveal what that is, I'm just going to keep it on the quiet and keep it on the hush. So I'm going to let him
Yeah.
surprise if he feels like he wants to do so. But, anyways, yeah, welcome to the Lowdown. I got Matt Likes Games here with me from Bullsitting Every
Hello.
Friday and from his channel as well, which is called Matt Likes Games as well. He does all sorts of different, like, like I guess you could say impressions of a lot of different games. A lot of testing for the Series S and um, just
Yeah.
various things that he really enjoys playing. So
Yes,
hey brother, how you doing? Good to see you.
I am doing very good. I appreciate you having me on. Actually, I'm very excited for this.
Well, let's just keep it a buck right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I talked to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was last minute, but hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, we're always on Xbox, like chatting it up.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's been like what,
been less than
yeah, it's been
less
like
than
8 hours.
9 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 8 or 9 hours. Good, good to see. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mr. Joanna Dark. I see you in the chat. Those of you that come through, I appreciate you. We're here talking about different types of things that happened so far this week, which hasn't been too crazy, but there is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
some interesting things kind of brewing and going on. I see a sour blow. What's cracking? What's going on? The first thing that I wanted to touch upon, and I kind of wanted to just go back and forth because Matt has some really interesting stuff that he wants to bring to the table that we were talking about before the show started, that maybe I wasn't looking at, or maybe I looked at it in a different light. So I'm gonna go first, and the first thing I want to bring up is something that I know that you personally, Matt, have been absolutely loving, enjoying the heck out of it, been playing it every day since it's came out, and that is Dead Island 2. That game has hit 1 million
Dude.
already off the rip.
Yep.
First week.
Yep. Dude, it's a game with a lot. This game had a lot of hype, had a lot of expectations to live up to too, and I feel like a lot of people got worried when they saw the Metacritic scores, but it's like I feel like once a lot of people played it, they were like, "Yeah, this makes sense." Like this is kind of what I've been waiting for. Like I'm someone who I played the original Dead Island, but it wasn't my favorite thing. Dead Island 2, the only reason I got it is because the trailer they showed like a month ago, or like the flesh system and everything on the enemies, the combat. I was like, oh, okay, now this is on my radar. And then I got it. I'm just like, dude, this is one of the most fun games I played this year. They deserve all the success they're getting and more, honestly. And I hope it gets to 2 million just as quick. I hope it gets to 2 million just as quick. We will see though. We will definitely see. But that is really good for a game that's had the struggle that this game has had for about 10 years at this point. I mean, to release and hit 1 million right away, that's really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic so far. I mean, I see everybody talking about it, playing it. You're talking about it every night and playing it. Mike ended up picking up the game, and I'm just
Yeah,
like, man, did I miss out? I'll be all right. I mean, that's kind of the way I'm kind of
yeah,
looking
you
at it
could
right now. Is like,
for sure.
it looks really good. It looks really fun, but like, I literally just bought Jedi Survivor, and I think I'll be all right.
Yeah, true.
I think I'll be all right
That's
in a few days. I just need these few days to go by and whatnot. But on Twitter, Dead Island celebrated the zombie crushing sequel had sold over 1 million copies just 3 days after its release. For context, the original Dead Island sold 5 million copies from its launch in 2011 to 2013. Selling 1 million copies alone is no small feat, but this achievement is more impressive considering Dead Island's challenge development circumstances, says Game Rant. How do you feel about that statement given by Game Rant right there?
I I agree with it. I very much agree with that because
I mean,
like it hints at. I
it's a
mean,
long
this was
time
a
in development, right?
yeah. This has been through development. Like this is quite the definition of development hell. Like people talk about 343 with Halo Infinite with development hell. This is like a different level of that. Like a much different level of that. This Switch Studios was it one, two, and then Dam Busters is the third studio, I think. Like originally, Dead Island 2, I believe, could be wrong about this. I believe it was supposed to originally be developed by Techland. I know Techland did the first one, and Techland just branched off and did Dying Light, and now Dying Light 2. And then, that was a whole thing, and then switched to another studio. They didn't really want it, and then you got to switch to Dam Busters, and then they brought it home. Like a 8-9 year development cycle is insane, and they're getting rewarded. They're getting rewarded for all their hard work, and you can tell it's been in development for about 8 years because it is stupidly well optimized. Like to
It
the point
is
it might be like
insanely well. Like everyone's saying this game is like I haven't heard any problems from anybody. Digital Foundry came
no,
out and gave it its
no,
flowers.
yes, 100%. And it looks like not only is it really well optimized, it's one of the better looking games I've seen. Like in general, and it's Unreal Engine 4. Typically, Unreal Engine 4 has a lot of stutter. There's a lot of FPS drops. You're noticing things that are quite game breaking or just pulls your immersion. That is not a thing in Dead Island 2. That's
You,
absolutely not a thing.
I mean, I was kind of thinking, and I see what Mr. Joanna Dark in the chat said just moments ago. He said Techland was doing Dead Island 2, which is correct. They like
Mhm.
they were on the project and abandoned
Yeah,
it to do
Dying Light.
Dying Light 2. And I
For
just think
one,
that like or I mean, yeah, they abandoned it to do Dying Light
yeah.
essentially. And I just think that's insane. Like, I wonder if they look at it like a nice job, nice like well done, or if they are like, dang.
Oh, I hope so.
I
I
mean,
hope they look at it kind of proud because it's like you know even if they weren't involved with Dead Island 2 at all, like let's say they weren't. I mean, they made Dead Island 1, and a lot of people love Dead Island 1. Uh, like it has its issues, obviously, but a lot of people love it. So I'm sure just like seeing you know like Bungie seeing 343 release Halo 4 to critical acclaim, where they kind of like, would have been cool if we could have done that, but we're proud of you. We're proud of you. I would imagine that's what they feel like.
yeah,
You know?
no, I'm not saying like they'd be salty at
No,
them
yeah.
at Dam Busters or whatnot. I'm saying like they would be like dang, we could have did something with that. But I mean, that's neither here nor there anymore, I guess.
Mhm.
Right. So I mean, that's just pretty amazing for Dead Island. Hope that success continues. I definitely want to play
Yes.
this game, but I have
Yes.
so many other games that I'm currently looking forward to. I see Mr. Joanna Darks tried it out on Steam Deck and on his Ioneo 2. Said they run fantastic over there, which is definitely good
No,
to
yeah.
hear. Um,
That makes
man,
sense.
I man, I feel like I should be getting more games on my PC just so I could play it on my Steam Deck.
Well, the
It's something that I'm seriously considering.
thing is, if you get it on Steam Deck, you have to do it on your Windows or set it up to play it through Epic Games in the Steam OS because it is not on Steam. It's Epic Games exclusive. So it, that is what it is. But I'm not surprised to hear it runs really well.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is some of these pieces, or actually, better yet, before I go into what I'm really interested in what kind of news you actually had to bring to the table today. You had a couple things that you were talking about beforehand, before we got on stream. Go on ahead and let them
Mhm.
know right now.
Well, I want to start off with something light, something easy, and that is Redfall or Xbox marketing Redfall with a commercial because that's big news. I mean, that's shouldn't be big news, but it's big news because Microsoft doesn't do that. Microsoft really doesn't do commercials for their games unless it's like, Halo. They might do some Halo commercials, but like you don't see that often from Xbox, and it's great to see. I don't know where this was seen at, if it was even in the US. But yeah, that's huge news. I'm really excited for Redfall. I'm happy to see they're marketing it right, and I'm sure that's probably realistically Bethesda's influence for that because Bethesda's great at marketing stuff. Microsoft is not. They're not great at it. So I just thought it was funny to see that. And I wanted to ask you, did you see the little snippet of it from Hazardor Gaming?
No, I have not actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah. Apparently, it was in the U.S. It was in the U.S. So that is good to know. Maybe we can see that commercial at some point.
That'd be something
Mm,
interesting. I mean, like I said, at this point, I'm just looking to play that game. Like
same.
advertising, um, meh for that game. I'm kind of done with it. I just need to see it for goodness sakes. But the one thing to take away from this whole thing that you're talking about right now is that Xbox is trying to market.
Making an attempt, and
Like,
it's all they need to do. Just make an
what
attempt.
up, Cult Classic Cage? I see you. So, and that's different to us a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So
it is.
like, so not only did I see or did you see that about Redfall, I hopped on Twitter and seen somebody with a picture of a bus that had Starfield on it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was being marketed on there, and I'm just like, yo, okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Looks like they're trying to market again. I mean, I understand this stuff takes time, but how much damn time?
Looks like they kind of give a shit. Looks like they kind of care a little bit right here. It's nice
It,
to see.
it's really weird how all these things are kind of coming together. I was on YouTube on my phone, because I'm a normal person that has a phone and does that kind of stuff. And I was just scrolling through, and I seen Xbox tweeted this yesterday. Not sure if you
Oh,
can read it. It says it's always darkest before the respawn.
oh,
They posted that
hmm,
on their YouTube channel. And I was just like, okay, what's happening over there?
interesting,
Very
interesting.
interesting. Very interesting indeed. I'm really ready to see Xbox come outside. And actually I was on Boom's podcast yesterday. Shout out to Boom.
Yeah,
First time I was on his show. It was pretty dope. Um and I was talking about like, yo, like I want to see Xbox's marketing to the point where I'm just like, for the love of God, I don't want to see that commercial again.
yeah.
I
Like
want to see it
I
to
would
that
love to have
point.
that complaint. I
Like,
would
like, like,
love to
like,
have that complaint.
when you turn on the radio and you're just like, oh fuck, this song again.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's how far outside Xbox needs to be right now. Um,
yes.
I mean, you got to think they're around the corner with their streaming device, right? They're around the
Hmm.
corner from that. They're around the corner from Redfall coming out. Bethesda,
Yeah.
or not Bethesda, but Activision Blizzard possibly closing. Who knows what we'll hear even this week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Starfield, just a few more months, or actually, before I even go to that, the Xbox in Bethesda or a Starfield showcase
Yeah.
is happening, and then Starfield. I mean, just last week, everybody was out here dooming and glooming, acting like Redfall being 30 FPS at launch, which is a disappointment. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's
It
a
is.
it's an
It
exponential
is.
disappointment that I let I said what I said, but I had to keep it moving. I'm moved on to something else now. I'm looking forward. What good can I see out of this situation instead of looking, constantly being salty about stupid shit that you can't do anything about. Um,
Yeah.
I was just like, man, other than that bad news, there is like a tower of good news.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. I'm also wondering, just a quick thought about that Bethesda, not Bethesda, but the Xbox showcase. It's like, yeah, they got Starfield afterwards, but I wonder if Bethesda has anything else to announce, kind of like possibly when we will see that Fallout 4 next gen update. I mean, I know I'm very excited for that. And then on top of that, just forget first party. You got this summer Lies of P. We still need to hear about Flintlock, which is supposed to come this year, the Game Pass. So, I mean, dude, it's a lot. It is a lot.
It's definitely like, how you watch Scooby Doo and they got the mask on. It's like, what the hell is under that mask? Who is it? Who is it? What's going on? That is kind of the moment that we're getting close to with Xbox. Is just
Yeah,
like the what's going on mask is coming off, and we're gonna
dude.
finally be able to see, and it's gonna be
Cult
something
Classic
positive.
Cage in the chat. I agree. I agree with that. We need to know about the new Doom, and if it's not a new Doom, we need to know what id's up to.
Mm,
I want to see id's next game. I'm itching to see id's next game.
I
I got to see that.
think that's a fantastic point. Thank you, Cult Classic Cage. What has id Software been up to? What have
Yes.
they been up to? Because we know they don't miss.
No, they do not. They do not miss.
They
They're they're
do
they're
not miss.
they're geniuses over there.
But the thing is like there's just so many great studios that we have to look out for. Like if you think about this showcase, like if we're like predetermining stuff before we get really that close right now, like
Yeah.
oh man, it would be insanity to see Avowed there. Whatever Compulsion's up to.
I really want to see that. Really want to see that.
I mean, that sounds pretty nuts. I mean, let me see. Uh, I finally want to see Contraband. All
Yeah,
I
it's
know
about
is
time we see that.
that moving of the picture all over the like the place, and like remember they showed that trailer with like that song,
The
I'm
music.
going back, Jack,
Yeah.
do it again. Yeah, yeah. That I mean that song is dope.
Yeah.
like but yeah, I haven't seen anything since then. And people were talking about last year, I remember. Oh, this should be at the end of 2023. It's looking like it should be around that time. Well, this would be the showcase to let you know.
This would be it. It's a good time to do it. I mean, if that's Contraband's one of those games I forgot about until Mike mentioned it recently, and it's like, yeah, we should be hearing about that. It's sometime this year, maybe you would think. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But I'm excited for that. Actually, it's like a co-op, like like you're robbers, from what I understand, or smugglers or something. It's interesting. Interesting concept.
I see Decado in the chat. He says, "Crap, I'm late. Hello, all. You're not late, brother. I appreciate you just for
You're not late
stopping
at all.
through. I appreciate all of you guys for stopping through. I see you, Mike, Hard Days Mike in the chat.
Yes.
John Wolf up in the chat. Mr. Joanna Dark started from the bottom. Now we're somewhere. but
You are
back from the
all right on
dead.
time.
Yeah, you guys are all right on time. You guys are all fine. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you're new here, any of you guys watching that are not in the chat, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is what we do Tuesdays through Friday. Sometimes I have a guest like Matt here. I mean, he's not really a guest, though. I mean, I have him on my show every Friday with Bull sitting with Loke and Cozy as well. But I do this every Tuesday through Friday on this channel. And I'll be back tomorrow with some other stuff. I'm gonna definitely be back tomorrow because I want to talk tomorrow about the constant and consistentness with Xbox and kind of the doom and gloom and how it's almost like a yearly thing, like a season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can count on it. You can count on it.
You can count on it every year. Every year,
Yep.
it seems like it's right around before like an E3 or a big event or something like that. Everybody gets that Xbox fever a little bit, like, you know. Like, even ponies get it. I mean, like, everybody is susceptible to the Xbox fever. But anyways, continuing on. Man, I wanted to talk about Diablo 4, which is always great to talk about.
Let's do it.
They are killing it right now. They are killing it in so many damn aspects. They got the demo that's going to be coming out. What's that? Like May 12th or something like that. I believe. I know it's on a Friday. I think it is May 12th. It's either the 5th or the 12th. I know that for sure. But I'm pretty sure it's the 12th.
I think it's the 12th.
Right. But they recently announced PC requirements for it, and I tell you, the PC requirements are just as you would expect them to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty low, right?
I mean, how low can you go? How low? I mean, you know the song. But anyways, it's pretty insane. I'm actually gonna pop this up on screen here just in a moment. It's gonna look like hot ass, so deal with it, you guys. But anyways, it doesn't look too god awful. But anyways, here are the minimum specs, and this is from GameRant.com as well, you guys, in case you're wondering what the source is. It says right here in the highlighted part, Diablo 4 PC launch system requirements, minimum spec requirements, setting blah blah blah. So you guys already know that. But yeah, setting up Diablo 4 at 1080p. Native resolution, 720p render resolution, low graphics and settings, and 30 FPS. Let's go to the low, as you see, just, got Windows 10 at least, Intel Core 5 2500K or AMD FX 8350, 8 gigs of RAM. Graphics card right here. This is fun. GeForce GTX 660, AMD Radeon R9 280.
Damn, those are throwbacks.
Those are some throwbacks.
Those are time machines at this point.
And then every single one has the SSD with 90 gigabytes, because it's a big game. It is a big game.
Yes, it is. Very big.
And then so medium specs, the processor is i5 4670K, and an AMD Ryzen 1300X, 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8. The graphics card is a GTX 970 in a Radeon RX 470 for medium settings.
That's 470s. That's a 2016 card, 2017 card. It's old, man. That's old stuff.
This is, that's pretty nice right there.
It is.
There's cozy right there for the medium specs. No problem. Easy work.
Very easy.
High spec requirements. So this is where I would be.
You'd actually be above that.
Technically, yes, but this is where I would actually run it.
Oh, okay.
This is how I'd play it. All right. So Intel Core i7 8700K or an AMD Ryzen 2700X. 16 gigs of RAM, just like everything else, or so far. And then the graphics card is an RTX 2060 or an AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT. Still
not even had a 5000 series
at all.
Yeah.
So those people that are worried if their cards are too low with a 3060 or something like that, not even close. You're in the high spec. You're in the high spec area, bro.
Play this at almost 4K low settings, honestly.
Right. So that's where we come to. That's the final part, which is the Ultra 4K spec requirement. So let me come up just a little bit so you guys can see that part as well. So this one is a Intel i7 8700K and then AMD. So same thing for the CPU. All right. For the memory, though, 32 gigs of RAM. A lot of RAM.
Yeah.
The graphics card is what I have. An RTX 3080. Or it says GeForce 40 series for full support DLSS 3 or AMD RX 6800 XT, which is the card that we were talking about just before the show.
Yep.
Those are some pretty fantastic specs, as of course rest of the ports you guys know, which is also impressive that it's coming out for PS4, Xbox, and Xbox One as well. But it's on Series S and X and PS5 and yes, here on PC. So yeah, those are some really nice. Those are some really nice specs. My opinion
is going to be able to run anywhere.
Easy to attain. Fairly
easy
to attain.
And think about this because of that.
On a potato.
Yeah, and think about this because of that. They're going to have a huge player base. A huge player base.
Mr. Joanna Dark says, "Why not Switch?" I mean, come on. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there. I just don't know what to tell you there, Mr. Joanna Dark. But anyways, yeah, I mean, those are some really nice PC requirements. Matt, what you got for me, bro?
Oh, dude, let me go over to my Twitter because I wanted to talk about. There was a Game Rant article that mentioned that it might be time to get rid of Master Chief and Halo.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Now, dude, I'll tell you what. That's insane. Because I'll tell you what they could do, honestly. They could just... Granted, they just did this. They could just reboot Halo. Like, anytime. You could do that with any series. You could just reboot it. It's a new story again. Master Chief is young. If you want to. It's really up to them. But I just think it's nuts whenever I don't know, a publication comes out and says something like that. Like, purposely inflammatory, obviously trying to get clicks, do what you do. I get it. But, like, you're not going to say goodbye to Master Chief for good. Doesn't matter how quote-unquote dead Halo is, that's never going to happen. At least not in our lifetimes, I don't feel like.
It feels like, though, to be fair, it feels like the longer that they sit on a Master Chief story, the more that this is gonna feel like a Superman, and a Superman for Xbox.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is it's terrifying for people to want to touch.
Oh, dude, I 100% get that.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
Like, there's a
yeah.
reason people haven't touched Superman since like 360.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like when I hear people say we need to get 343, like get 343 away from Halo, it's like, who do you want to do that? Because I don't think anybody wants to make Halo outside of 343. I don't think anybody wants to make Halo. So it's like you got to find someone who wants to do it first of all, and your options are very, very small there, non-existent. You got non-existent options. So it's like that's a tall task, and Master Chief ain't going nowhere. That's going to be a thing. What I would like to see, however, and I want to ask you about this. I want to see constant spinoffs with the amount of studios that Xbox has, and if this Activision deal goes through, are about to have. There's no reason you can't have a non-Master Chief story Halo release twice every 10 years. There's no reason.
I mean, that's correct, but I mean, I just don't know what the plan is with Xbox, because Xbox, I feel like, is the ones that are really in charge of making that decision
Oh,
on
yes.
how Xbox get, or not Xbox, but how Halo gets released, or who's working on it. I mean, other than just 343, we got Certain Affinity working on something else that's interesting. I mean, maybe, dare I say that we're being impatient with Halo? Dare I say it?
Well, the thing is, I would agree with that. I think. I mean, I want to hear what you were about to say, but I would agree with that.
Okay. No. Go ahead. No, that was the end of my statement right there.
Oh, so I agree with that because like I feel like Halo got a lot of shit, and rightfully so. I mean, come on,
Sure.
we saw how it launched. We saw
Yeah,
the
you
the
can't
year
launch in
after it launched.
pieces.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. But with Halo in the state that it's in now, which is pretty damn good. I mean, all things considered, people like to still shit on it and everything, but it's like you turn that on, there's a lot to do. There's a lot you can do on that game now. So it's like I feel like the word impatient makes a lot of sense because it's like now we've got you here. We get it. We should have been here earlier, but it's like now we've got you here. Now we can start working on things. Now we can start working on things to expand this or new things, entirely new things. And it's like we're just kind of impatient.
You know
We're
what I
very
kind of think a
impatient.
little bit? Like, not only did Halo kind of hurt itself by launching in pieces, but due to also the lack of experiences from first party studios from Xbox, it allowed Halo to bleed.
That's interesting. That's an
So
interesting
like
take. Yeah.
so having not a whole lot to play or look forward to, and the only thing that you really have that you can count on that's in your back pocket that's first party is either Forza and Halo. And let's be honest, more people are into first person shooters on Xbox than they're into anything else. So with Xbox not having a whole lot coming, and then Halo coming out in pieces, with Halo being pretty much the only thing you can point out and say, I can play this, but this is like not the way it should be, it allowed it
Yeah.
to look really bad when it, I mean, when it deserved to look skeptical for sure. But if there were other games that had launched in that time period, there'd have been a lot less chatter, I feel like, um, from us hungry folks for games, especially
And
when when a lot of this ends up coming down to like people finding Game Pass worth it or not.
Oh yeah, because Game Pass. Look, game for me, for you, for a lot of the people probably watching this. I mean, a lot, not everybody, but like Game Pass was kind of, even without the first party stuff last year, was kind of an easy sell for like Plague Tale stuff, like High on Life stuff like that, where it was like, okay, this is still worth it. But for the casual gamer, just the casual person, Game Pass last year had to have been a tough sell. I mean, you don't got anything first party wise to look forward to for the casual game. Like you got some smaller titles in there that some people might love, but just a casual player who wants to pick up and play a game after work or whatever, after school, it's a hard sell last year. It's a very hard sell. But, you know, getting things back on track this year, by the end of this year, we could be looking at an entirely different situation, which would be nice. Would be nice to see that.
I see John Wolf saying Doom guy ripping and tearing into elites, just saying. Yeah, I mean, I bounced around with the thought of id Software working with 343 to create a new
Be
Halo,
great.
or better yet, in my opinion, what I think they should kind of do is not kill off Chief, but move away from him.
Give him some time. Yeah, just give him a little bit of time.
Give him like some time to be legendary
Missed.
again. Yeah, exactly. To be missed, to where you're
Yeah.
playing something similar to like ODST style. And if id Software could help with like, different ideas as to like maybe movement in the game and just like maybe the way the maps could possibly come out and look like the direction of the map.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be killer, man. Just to have
Dude,
something on the side that's just fun, that uses the same IP, uses the same similar type of guns, but is in like a different kind of total direction, like the complete opposite of what Chief is doing at that time.
yeah. Dude, Halo game or Halo ODSTC with like the violence and to a certain extent the speed of Doom would be just fucking insane. That would be crazy. So, I mean, I'd really be down for that. Somebody in the chat. Oh man, we got
Oh yeah, Cassie out here saying, "Man, f all that. We need Doomslayer versus Master Chief pronto." And I just don't think that's
Oh
fair. I think
yeah,
Doomslayer is ripping apart.
yeah, I love Chief, but that's not. Doomslayer's a god. Doomslayer's a god. I don't think that's a fair fight.
It's not. I mean, he pulls heads off of people's bodies and stuff like that. Like Chief would walk up to him and lose an arm immediately. Like the
Yeah,
gun,
he just
he
ripped off
would
Chief
take
arms.
the shots dead in the chest from Chief and just rip his arms off. Like it would be insane. Don't
Yeah,
even
a
get
rough
the
fight.
don't even get the chainsaw out. There is no need for all that.
No, you don't need that. Not for
That's
Chief.
I don't think that's a fair fight, but I think it would be really interesting to see maybe Chief evolve later on and become even more of a tank than he already is, but through story that may not involve him exactly in it. So maybe they're talking about, hey, you're on this special mission and Chief is doing this other stuff to discover whatever, yada, yada, yada. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm thinking just like beyond, canon completely. Because I think if Halo's going to survive, they need to get away from that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like the beginnings of Halo, sure, keep it. But we need to move on to like after canon and create something, or before canon and create something. Like
I would definitely agree with that.
that would just be fun to see. It'd be less people bitching, moaning, complaining because there is no leg to stand on. You know what I'm saying? Like this is out of your control.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like you mentioned the originals, dude. The original Halos weren't always canon. It's like that was Bungie's thing. Bungie was like, we're making the games. We don't give a fuck about the books. Like that was their whole thing. Like we don't care what happens in the books. This is the games. I feel like 343. It would benefit 343 to adopt some of that mentality. But the problem with 343 is it's like they're literally under Microsoft. In fact, like they're in Microsoft's building. And so it's like they're so far like under, I don't know what you would even call that, control of Microsoft. It's like it's probably difficult for somebody at that studio who wants what we're saying to talk his way to the top and say, hey, this is something we should probably look into doing. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like you
They're
don't
not.
always need to follow the
I
canon.
I see what you're saying. You're saying they're not like 343 isn't like Bethesda where it's like y'all working
Yeah.
already. Y'all doing
Yeah,
your
you
jobs
guys got
already.
your own thing.
We purchased you guys and we want you guys just to continue doing what you do.
Yep.
And we're hoping this is a match made in heaven. Yeah, with Redfall
Yep.
a little bit. But whatever. And you know, some other things. That that I guess I could mention, like Ghostwire Tokyo not being optimized completely great, and some other things. Like there are some things that you could complain about, but at the same time,
Sure.
it's like the way you're correct. The way that they're treating, like Bethesda isn't going to be the same way that they treat 343. Not at all.
Yeah. And see, that's why I look at that Redfall thing we talked about earlier. I'm like, was that Microsoft or was that just Bethesda being good at marketing? Because Bethesda is. Because, like, I feel like we'll find out. We'll find out, once we get around to those cycles where it's like, oh, we got Hellblade releasing, we got Avowed releasing. Once we get to those cycles, I feel like we'll find out if Microsoft's marketing is in the right place. If they're listening to Bethesda, if they've got Bethesda in their ear and Pete Hines and all them. Because I feel like it would definitely benefit them to have those folks in their ear.
All right. Well, interesting stuff right there. But one of the main topics that I wanted to revert back to, that you've probably seen on the thumbnail if you click the video, was SEGA of America unionizing.
Oh, nice.
How
Didn't
about
even see this.
that? Just like Activision, but in this, I mean, in this sense, it's supposed to be like the biggest unionization of some sort or whatnot, which is interesting to me. But where I got this source is from The Verge and then also Game Rant. They both talked about it, of course. And one of the things that got quoted from um, Aegis, which is supposed to be the Allied Employees Guild improving Sega. They're supposed to like be doing this whole labor union thing. And they said our workers and our audience deserves games made by people who make a living wage. Reading the mission statement announcing the Aegis Union in our request to reclaim our collective power. We have built bridges with fellow workers from across our company in effort to understand our shared issues and those that are unique to each department. So Matt, what do you kind of think about this whole unionizing that's kind of happening in gaming right now? Because it's very new.
It is. It is. I don't know. I think the easy answer is for me to just say I mean, it's great. Because like, I don't know. I just feel like it's never a bad thing to I guess I want to say fight for, but just be able to have like better, more equal, like more fairness in your day to day working a job that can, I'm assuming, be as stressful as creating a game. You know, like you think of huge games, you're thinking of like a dev cycle of 4 to 6 years in some cases. It's like any chance you have at making that a better 4 to 6 years, more fair 4 to 6 years, you're paid more fairly. You can work, normal human hours. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I know Loka's talked about some of the downsides to downsizing, and that's why I think it would be really interesting to hear his take on this, because I remember talked about it before in bull setting with another company. I can't remember um, what it was, or I said downsizing, I meant unionizing, but we talked about it before in Bullson with like another company, and Loke
I
had a
think it
really
was
interesting take on it.
I think it was with Activision and whatnot because they had
Yeah,
unionized before this. But
yeah,
Aegis went on to say on Twitter that yesterday on the 24th that today we super majority of workers at our Sega of America Irvine headquarters are excited to announce that we are um, unionizing the Allied Employees Guild, improving Sega Aegis in partner um, um, with it has this at symbol. Oh, code CWA. Okay, got it right there. Is the at symbol. So I just want to make sure I said it right. And then it also went on to say as well. We believe that the passionate, hardworking people at our Irvine offices deserve a say in our working conditions and are joining together to advocate for changes in our workplace. This kind of stuff would include like healthcare benefit, workloads, staffing, and all that kind of stuff. I mean that sounds good on paper, and we're hoping that it all kind
yeah,
of works out because I mean,
sure.
giving the people that work there more control over how they feel, how things um, are kind of going, what needs to be changed and whatnot, instead of just allowing the head honcho to kind of tell everybody what to do and how to feel. I mean, that's always good. I am very interested in what Matt said as well with having Loke's opinion on it because he did have some really interesting opinions on why he thought unionizing could be bad, but unionizing here might be a little different than what kind of unionizes
Down in
they may
Texas.
have, down in Mozambique, Texas. So we'll have
Yeah,
to figure that out at a future date. But but yeah, very very interesting stuff. I do want to give you the floor to see if you have anything else to say before I bring up the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get out of here.
well, wondering if the last thing you want to talk about is kind of the big thing for this week, the possible big thing. Is that what we're talking about last?
I don't know. Why don't you just go on ahead and say it?
Well, I mean, because we're hearing all sorts of reports that it's quite possible. I mean, we're getting a verdict from the CMA tomorrow. That's happening for sure.
Right.
But it seems like the verdict is going to be very good news for Xbox, and that we can finally get this whole deal behind us in the UK, at least. This whole deal will be behind us. So one very huge step closer to finally closing this thing, and then we can all eventually stop talking about it every week. But it's great news. It's great news to hear. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. I wanted to hear your thoughts on the UK CMA possibly getting ready to pass this Activision Blizzard deal for Microsoft.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean that wasn't what I was gonna be talking about.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Nope. Going ahead.
Uh, well, yeah, well, that's the thing. I wanted to hear your thoughts because I mean we've been talking about this deal for
I mean, yeah.
God forever,
Every time I hear it
forever.
a little bit, I get a little bit of white noise. that goes on a little bit, and I kind of forget what I'm doing and what I'm saying. At the
Yeah.
moment, it's just like, oh my god, I've heard about this deal so much. But I mean, yeah, I'm really excited to hear this deal possibly go through. See what it means. It's just more fantastic news for Xbox, and they are in dire need of fantastic news, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's just so much to look forward to for Xbox in the coming, I mean, weeks, months, rest of the year. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just a lot. There's a lot. Um,
Yeah.
there are now two things that I wanted to bring up. The first one, which you were talking about before the show. I don't think we touched upon it though, but the whole um, Sony getting exposed thing for
Oh yeah.
yeah, Xbox players not being able to get certain games because they're getting blocked from Sony, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. There is a person on Twitter, DBat. She is part of RDX.
Yep.
Um, pretty pretty dope individual from what I can tell. I've never actually had a conversation with him myself, so I can't actually tell you if he's actually dope. But like, he seems like an all
Sure.
right guy.
Yeah.
But he seems to always be in the streets of arguing back and forth with some ponies sometimes, which is fine. That's his business. But he said but in the tweet he said Sony's getting exposed badly. Sony rejects companies from working with Xbox. These third-party deals, Jim's doing all of that crying though, saying Microsoft will be unfair. Oh man, with when the deal goes through, we laughing. So, I mean, take that tweet as you will. Like I said, quite combatful. But anyways, the tweet actually says so the tweet actually says itself. It's a picture of what Xbox has said or something like that, saying
Yeah.
no players shouldn't expect uh, or it's answering a question about like Final Fantasy coming to Xbox or something like that.
Yeah.
Which me personally, if you've been following me, you know I don't give a rat's ass about Final
Same.
Fantasy, right? So all this Final Fantasy not coming to Xbox stuff, I feel bad for fans, but does it bother me? Not even slightly. I don't care. Um,
Mm.
but this specific tweet says, in response to Final Fantasy coming to Xbox, no player shouldn't expect Final Fantasy 16, which is insane if somebody did expect that to come.
Yeah.
I mean,
True.
if you look at the list, it's insane if you expect it to come. Final Fantasy 16 to be on Xbox, on any Xbox Series S or X, Xbox One, and the reason is a weird one, I guess. In the ongoing conflict between Sony and Microsoft, it has been revealed in release documentation from the CMA 3.67 that Sony has signed deals with third-party developers to stop them from working with Xbox. Specifically, Square Enix has permission to work with others, presumptively. This would be after the 6 months exclusivity period, but Microsoft and Xbox specifically is off limits to them. The exact details of the exclusions are not clear yet, but it means that third-party games made for Sony likely won't be on Xbox anytime in the near future and may not be on it at all. So, I mean, I'm not surprised by this. We've been saying this for a long time. Um, this whole getting exposed thing. I mean, maybe legitimately exposed, sure, but
Yeah.
it's just like that kid in the neighborhood or like that person that always just does crap bad, but you always just kind of just kind of shrug your shoulders and just kind of keep it moving. We all know that that you're doing some like weird, terrible stuff, but it's especially none of my business because I don't even like Final Fantasy. In most Square Enix games, I'm fine with them only being on PlayStation because I only want to dabble with Square Enix games every once in a great while. In fact, I want to play Forspoken, but I'm not buying that game nowhere near full price. I want to play it, yes, but I'm not dying to play it. Not like that. I bought a Jedi Survivor. I'm dying to play that game. That looks like it's going to be a good game. Good game. I'm very picky.
A fun time.
I'm much more pickier than Matt is with his games.
Well, I mean, even as not picky as I am, I was pretty out on Forspoken after playing that demo, and after the launch, seeing the technical issues, I was glad I didn't pick that up. Glad I didn't pick that up. But yeah, I am a little bit more liberal with just purchasing stuff, purchasing games.
Stuff.
I'll take chances. I'll take chances quite often, and sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but I'm taking chances. That's all I can say.
I tell you, after last year, I'm not taking those kind of chances anymore. I'm waiting for a sale on a lot of these games because I tell you what, if they're not going to come out completely done like I paid them to be, then I'm going to give them the price that they're willing to lower it down to and give me that premium experience. Because by the time I get Forspoken, it's going to be in great shape. It's going to be in great shape, and it's going to be like $35, and I'm going to be stoked. I'm going to be ready to play some Forspoken. I tell you that much.
I'll tell you,
there are very few games I'll be day one for, and the only one that I think I'm going outside of the realm to purchase this year, which every year I gotta have at least one weird purchase, at least one like this could be bad purchase, and that's Immortals of Avium.
Oh yeah, I'm getting that.
I'm getting that game day one. I'm very much thinking that this game is going to be fantastic. It has everything in the making to be fantastic. It has the sugar, the spice, it has all the things that's nice. You know, like I'm ready to sink my teeth in. I'm ready to get my sigils. I'm ready to shoot. Pew, pew, float, grapple hook. Like I'm ready to do all that stuff in that game. It's going to be insane. Did you actually see any of the in-depth stuff that happened today with Immortals of Avium?
What happened today with Immortals of Avium?
Oh, so you don't quite know. That's fine. I'll help you out with that, brother. I'll help you out. So so I'll actually pull it up on screen so everybody can kind of see it. What was it? Ascendant Studios. They had just 3 hours ago.
It's on Twitter.
This is on YouTube. So
okay,
just a few hours ago. So oh man, I knew something was gonna look bad at some point. Okay, I'm just gonna fix this while on stream because I just don't give a damn.
Mr. Joanna Dark in the chat. He says, look at Dying Light 2, the game that launched is different than the current game, and the current game is better. And dude, Techland, this is why I love Techland so much. First of all, I know people had problems with Dying Light 2 at launch. I loved it. I really loved it.
I thought it was fantastic.
But like,
I really hated that one dude. I wanted to kill him so bad, and I got to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But people had problems with that launch. I loved it. And Techland's one of those studios that when they make a game, they support the shit out of it. Like up until after release of Dying Light 2, like about months after the release of Dying Light 2, we were getting updates and new content for Dying Light 1. So it's like
That's right.
They support the hell out of their games, like with new stuff, and they're adding forever adding stuff to Dying Light 2, and they're only going to keep adding, and it's only going to get way better. So it's like Techlane's just a super awesome studio. They're one of the best in the business, right? They're super underrated, heavily underrated.
Absolutely. So this right here, if you see me scroll down just a little bit, you see Ascendant Studios. They got their own channel here, and they're the makers of Immortals of Avium, which is the Magic first-person shooter. Um, it's pretty cool. Here, just check it out real quick. Let me see if I can give a little bit of audio. I'm just gonna kind of scam through this though, so you can see it.
Okay.
Versus your Lucium faction.
So with Sandrak on one side, you take on the role of Jack, who is an unforeseen, meaning someone who acquires their magical abilities later in life. Jack is thrust into the Everwar to defend and protect his homeland of Lucium on his quest to become a battle mage.
In Avium, those that wield magic can become battle mages or Magni. Your character Jack is extra special. He's a rare type of Magnus called a Triarch, which is someone who can wield all three types of magic. Most Magni can only wield one or at most two types.
And leveraging this
Are you
uniqueness,
seeing this at all, Matt?
Jack intends to join
Yeah,
the
I'm
Order of the
watching.
Immortals, which are basically the Navy SEALs of Avium. These are the most special of forces, and the
So this game, to me, it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic. Unreal Engine 5 is being developed, like I said, by Ascendant Studios and published by EA Original, same people that published It Takes Two. I mean, the game looks crispy. Like, here, let me go do another part right here. Just like a little bit of a fight.
Ooh, an 11-minute video. Okay.
With your
Yeah.
red magic, it's
So
very
they did a deep
satisfying.
dive into the
those
game
are
so you can
incredibly
see what it's
powerful
all
spells,
kind of
but if you'd
about.
like to hang back a little more and say use a
I'll
scout
have to
rifle,
check this out on
then
my
Blue
end
Magic
as
will
well.
for you. This is a much more
Y'all were talking
accurate,
about
precise,
Doom
long-range
earlier
type of
in the
magic,
chat.
and you can think of it like a very
I mean,
steady
hey,
rifle.
this is
Green
pretty
magic
close.
is really fitting for
to-
your
I mean,
run and
it
gun
ain't
style of
that
play.
close
So
now.
if you
Let's
really
relax.
like using something like an
But,
SMG
I mean, like,
in other games,
in the
this is
sense
definitely
of
the
like grappling
magic style of
around,
weapon for you.
shooting,
It uses
moving
rapid,
fast,
automatic
floating in the
magic
air,
projectiles
you
that will
know,
hone in
I mean,
on
it has a
your
lot
targets.
of the
And here's where
same
it gets really awesome
traits
because you don't
that
have those. They glow red, indicating
that a Doom
yeah.
has.
Let's
you
use
know?
red against this
Sure,
red
yeah.
enemy to
That
negative
game looks
buff.
sick, man.
This will help you strategize in the chaos.
It really
of battles.
does.
Called Immolate,
There is
and
one
it allows you to
specific part that I
basically
wanted to
clear
talk
the
about real
field.
quick. That I wanted to
Other
bring
gear
up
and
because
currencies
everybody
are gems
loves
and gold,
a
which
good
will allow you to
skill
craft,
tree,
upgrade, and unlock
right?
talents,
Oh.
just like you
So
would
they
Oh,
do
yeah.
talk about that at this part of the
Let's give
episode.
you
Have a
glimpse
listen.
into the skill trees here.
All right.
We'll use Arcanum to purchase skill points in the 3 colors of magic. So you can venture down the green skill tree, the blue, the red, and prioritize whichever type of magic is feeling
whoops.
more
Sorry,
your
you guys.
style.
along with talents and the ability
So you can venture down the green skill tree, the blue, the red, and prioritize whichever type of magic is feeling more your style.
along with talents and the ability to find sigils and gear. As you play through the world of Avium, you'll encounter spell shrines, which unlock special spells like the Refract that you see here, which is an enhancement to your Disrupt control spell, and it allows you to work your way through puzzles that you might not have been able to access before.
Yeah, I think the very best feeling is getting a brand new spell. And here we see Jack using Refract to figure out his way through this puzzle. It looks simple at first, but it will require tactical thinking and careful use of Refract to find a way to progress.
Some of these really cool spells that you'll
Yeah. So I mean,
Nice.
I think that game looks fantastic. I cannot wait to jump. I'm jumping into that game day one, and it's and I tell you what, that's something. That
Yeah,
that looks like
it's day one.
it looks like it has the makings to be something special. Unreal, I'm stoked about Unreal Engine 5. I really am. I've been hearing so much about it. The only thing I got to play on it so far, I mean, I know it's out for what's that for Fortnite, right? But I'm
Yeah.
not a Fortnite guy. I'm just not into that. So I can't appreciate
that's fair.
that engine the way that I'd like to. So I'm definitely going to be checking it out day one on Immortals of Avium for sure. But anyways, Matt, you got anything else going on or that you want to talk about before we get up out of here, bud?
No, I think I'm all set. I'm hyped for Redfall. You know, we talked about the Activision deal possibly being approved. I mean, it's a good week. It's a good week. I'm all set.
What up, Dark Rod? In this, you just came just in time for me to do the outros. You see how
You're right on time.
I use the word play. Yeah, you're right on time for me to do the outros. I appreciate you for coming, brother. I definitely appreciate it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming through, watching another episode of The Lowdown. This one was a short episode, but there wasn't too much to talk about, and I also want to make sure I respect your guys' time as well. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you take off. That'd be much appreciated. Also, hit that sub button if you're new here. This is a growing channel. We are working Tuesday through Friday every week, and I will definitely give a heads up if there's ever going to be any time that I take off at all. But Matt, please let everybody know where they can find you real quick before we get up out of here.
You could check me out at Matt Likes Games on Twitter. That's at Matt Likes Games. And then Matt Likes Games on YouTube. That's videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check me out over there.
Dope. Thank you so much, Back from the Dead, for saying great show, guys. What I'm finna do is I'm finna turn on my Xbox. I'm about to get the last 2 achievements that I need to get in Vampire Survivors. You guys can see me working on that screen. It is insane. That game is my kryptonite, and I'm so happy that I get to beat this completely 100% the achievements with all this stuff, because I don't want to come back to this game for a hot minute. Like I'm more than happy with them coming out with another update. I tell you that much. More than happy with it. But I tell you what, starting from like 40 gamer score in that game, and now I'm at like I think I'm at 1430, and most of the gamer score you get from it is 5 points at a time. Bro, I've been working
That's a lot
on Vampire Survivors. I tell you what, but I'm finna go do that. Thank you everybody for coming through, checking out the show. You guys stay up, be safe, keep gaming out there, and yeah, I just said already part of my outro statement. Make sure that you're keeping it gaming or keeping it moving. Peace out, y'all.
See you.